developed as a survival mechanism, and another talent not developed well due to trauma. I mean, my gut reaction here is it doesn't matter. It's an academic exercise. If you are helping other people to the point that you can't eat or stay whole, or you are in an abusive relationship in order to keep other people from getting mad at you, then that's not healthy. I often say that the skills people learn when they're kids to survive can become some of the greatest skills professionally for them. But if all it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. Am I missing the question, Dave?
No, it feels like there's kind of two possible feelings for me. I mean, one is I don't trust a guy that doesn't walk with a limp.
Correct.
So if you got it all together and you're perfect, you're full of crap. You scare me.
If you survive,
yeah. But I went through bankruptcy. I lost everything because I was stupid, which informs my ability to do this. Right. But I'm not doing it as a healing mechanism to get over my past trauma. I'm utilizing that experience to give insight to the future. That's a healthy way to do it.
Yes, I guess
you're doing it as a coping mechanism.
Or you could be a parasite. You can be a vampire, using other people so that you feel better.
Yeah, right? That's a coping mechanism. Right. That's not you're not healed.
Correct. Absolutely.
But so if the trauma, the damage from the trauma, the wound, is what's driving this, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's one of my rules is I don't talk about things. You shouldn't be in the business of trying to sell things or help other people with open wounds, right? And how do you know the wound's still open? Can you talk about what happened and your heart rate doesn't take off as though it's happening in real time? That's how you know. Can you talk about your mom passing away from an ugly 3-year bout of cancer and you're not overwhelmed with emotion? You might still be sad, you might still feel heavy, but you can have a conversation. That's how you know.
If you're overwhelmed with emotion, you're not in a position to help someone.
Your body's still. That's right. Dr. Young used to teach us, don't bring your chaos to other people's hurting situations. So, but here's the thing. If you're good at a thing,
because you've got a scar that's healed,
God bless you. Use it.
Yeah.
Get out there, man. But
a scar that's healed is the trick, I think.
Yes.
And I might be wrong, but I
know you're 100%.
And that doesn't mean. I still think it's okay for people to criticize me and say, "How can you possibly give financial advice? You're the guy that went bankrupt." And then I get it. I get that. But I do have insight because of that someone who's never been bankrupt doesn't have.
Right. So here's another way to look at this. So let's say you're a child raised in a home of 2 alcoholics.
Adult child of an alcoholic.
And you learned how to get really small and to make sure the people around you were okay. And you just learned that. Is it okay to then go into a job where you're head of hospitality somewhere, where your job is to disappear and to help other people have a great experience? No, it's not a bad thing. If you're doing it out of a compulsion because you have to, like you were talking about earlier, then it's not healthy because you're never going to become a whole, because you're always going to be looking for healing out there. But yes, if you have some talents that you learned while trying to stay safe and survive, that's amazing. That's like our friends who go over and they are Navy SEALs and they come back and they walk with business leaders who are going through, challenging times and how to communicate under stress. And that's fantastic. You learn new talents under duress, and now you're using those to help the rest of us. That's amazing. So
if she says the phrase, the compulsion to help as a trauma response, would that be functioning out of the wound and not out of a healed wound?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you feel like it's a compulsion to help out of a trauma response, that's wrong. But if you've got discernment and compassion because of trauma, that's a healed wound and that's a scar.
Here's the difference. I have to versus I get to.
Compulsion.
If I have to, like when someone calls and says, "Hey, can you come serve at this local church thing?" You're like, "I've got to do this." That's not a good thing. That's childhood nonsense. If you say, "You know what, I get to go help over there. That's pretty cool," then I would say you're well. Go get it done.
That's interesting. I like that. Great question. Very interesting question.
Good.
You know what? The other thing about a question like that I always think of is, a Bible teacher used to tell me, Probably if you ask that question, you don't have a problem.
Right. Or you recognize the problem and now you have a path to healing.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing things at a proper angle.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, my initial for that question was, I just think the modern mental health ecosystem, universe, whatever, wants us to second guess and deep dive and yada yada on every single thing. And I think there is so much research coming out saying, go do the next right thing.
A lot of navigations.
Go do the next right thing. And if you can help people based on what happened to your kid, man, that's the gospel, right? That's restoration. That's all things made new. Go use what happened for good if you're healed. Yes.
Or if you're, doing it out of a healed place. That's right. So forth. So good. Phone number here is 888-825-5225. David is in Grand Rapids. Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So, my wife and I, we've always refused to go into debt for anything other than a mortgage.
Good.
This last week, we just paid off our house, and we did a 50-year mortgage, paid it off in 4 years, 4 months.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
What's the house worth?
It's just about 390 right now.
Way to go. How much in your nest egg and your 401ks and stuff?
Yeah, so our Roth IRAs, between the two of us, we've got about 366,000.
Dude, you're going to be a millionaire when you're 35. Way to go.
That's the goal. Then we have mutual funds also. That's about 118,000.
118. Wow, good for you.
Our total annual income between the two of us is approximately $120,000. The question I have, long story short, my in-laws own some hunting property. My father-in-law passed away this past May. My mother-in-law's ready to sell the property. She wants to keep it in the family if possible. We would love to buy it. She's willing to sell it to us for $122,000, and she's willing to do a 0% land contract.
No.
And the terms is
Absolutely not. You have the money. Write her a check.
okay.
Cash out your mutual fund.
Cash out mutual funds. Is what
Yeah.
you're looking
Absolutely. You don't want to be in debt to your mother-in-law. It changes the way Thanksgiving dinner tastes. I'm not kidding. Borrower slave to the lender. The air in the room changes when you sit down with your master.
Right.
Don't do it. You know how free you felt when you paid off that mortgage?
Yeah.
Don't screw that up.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially, on a hierarchy, I'd rather owe a bank than my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law's awful, but man.
Yeah, this is bad juju right here. Yeah, and you got the money.
Would it be dumb of me to buy the property, or what should I do?
No, you got the money. I would. I'd buy it for $100,000. You got 180 in your mutual fund.
How big is the property?
It's about 55 acres.
I mean, if the value is right, I don't think it's a problem. But pay cash for it or don't do it. If you can't pay cash for it, don't do it. And never do a land contract. You'll get screwed over 6 ways from Sunday on that. Ooh, I could do a whole segment on land contracts. This is the Ramsey Show. Fanatic. So I was excited to tell her that we're partnering with Field of Greens, a fruit and vegetable super drink. Each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected to support your heart, liver, kidneys, and metabolism for healthy weight. And we love the Field of Greens comes with a better health money back promise. Get 15% off at fieldofgreens.com/Ramsey with the promo code Ramsey. That's fieldofgreens.com/Ramsey.
When you go against what society thinks is, quote, normal, it might feel weird, and that's okay. That means you're doing things intentionally, including spending your healthcare dollars. And one way to be intentional is Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM isn't insurance. They're a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families take
我已
care
經
of
為
their
就
healthcare
開
costs.
粉水
Go to
wipe off。
chministries.org
Go ahead, the tire, take it
/budget
apart
to learn
and
more.
fix.
chministries.org/budget.
Here's a look at your closing grain markets from the
What are you talking
Chicago Board
about?
of Trade. December corn up 4 1/4 cents at the
What are you
close
talking
of 4.29. March up 5 1/4, 4.46 1/2. May corn a nickel higher, 4.55 3/4. November soybeans finish a quarter penny higher, 10.57 1/4. January up 1/4 cent, 10.75 1/2. March beans a penny higher, 10.89 1/2 cent. December soybean meal up 5.90 at the close of 3.47.50. December soybean oil down 40 cents, 42.91. December wheat out of Chicago finished 15 cents higher, 5.99. March up 15 1/4, 6.19 1/2. May wheat out of Chicago up 15 1/2 at 6.31 1/4. December wheat out of Kansas City 14 1/2 cents higher at the close, 5.98 1/4. March up 15 1/4, 6.13 1/2. May wheat out of Kansas City finished 16 higher at 6.23 1/2 penny. December oats finished today 4 1/2 cents lower, 3.88. The local cash grain bids in St. Joseph, yellow corn 3.84 to 3.91, white corn at 4.84, soybeans 9.97 to 10.12. In Atchison, yellow corn 3.81 to 3.89, soybeans 9.97 to 10.02, hard wheat at 5.42, soft wheat at $5.02. Kansas City truck bids, yellow corn 3.84 to 3.99, white corn at 4.84, soybeans 9.97 to
Fresh beans.
10.33. Hard wheat at 5.42, soft wheat at 5.02, and sorghum at $4.17. That's been a look at your closing grain markets on KFEQ. I'm Nathan Stigley.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut.